Okay, guys, I wanted to hop on here real quick and talk about AI and logo generation. Okay, I've been getting this question. I actually got it twice in the last week. So I really think that this is something that there's a lot of confusion on. So I want to clear a little bit up. It's not that you can't use AI to generate a logo and potentially trademark that logo, right? You're going to have trouble copywriting a logo that's AI generated because of the requirements as far as ownership and creation, right? But for trademark requires use. So the fact that it's AI generated is not going to, in and of itself, kick you out of the trademark, right, potential protection from the US Patent and Trademark Office, okay? But there are two things that you have to look at that really can cause problems. And this is really why at this point, I'm not recommending really that you get an AI generated logo and attempt to trademark it. The very first thing is the platform. And what you want to look at is the terms and conditions of the platform. And I've had people look at the terms and conditions of the platform and say, it looks like they're transferring all the rights to me as soon as I buy the logo after it's generated, and therefore it's mine and I can go ahead and use it and then therefore apply for protection. Not necessarily. I would be very careful when you're looking at those terms and conditions to see whether or not they are transferring full ownership rights or whether they are retaining ownership rights and just giving you a license to use it. So that can sometimes be difficult for a layperson to discern when you're reading those terms and conditions. They're written by lawyers, sometimes they're confusing, right? So if you have any questions about that, I'm always open for a 15-minute consultation if you want to ask me whether or not the terms of this particular place, right, are transferring enough ownership rights, all the ownership rights, so that you can go ahead and say, hey, I own this mark, all of the elements of this mark, and therefore I can use it and trademark it, okay? The second thing is if you get past that ownership piece, right, you still have to consider how AI is generating that logo. Because AI is pulling things off of the internet and pulling different things from different pieces that already exist. It may or may not be pulling elements that are either licensed by another company or in use or trademarked by another company, copyrighted by another company. You don't really know. So there, like I said before, it's not necessarily that it is pulling something that's not usable by you because you don't own it, but it is possible that it is pulling something, right, that is. So you have to be careful with that when we take a look at AI generated logos. If you can get past the first hurdle, which is ownership, if it gives you ownership, then we do a full clearance search to make sure that all of the elements in there aren't popping up as owned by someone else. They're not someone else's licensed material. So you have to be careful with that. So that is my quick and dirty explanation on how AI and trademark play together. They don't necessarily always play nice, but it's not always necessarily a problem. So if you have any questions, hit me up for a 15-minute consult. On my website, it's www.gravilaw.com. Thanks.